Hey, everybody, welcome to the SCB Steelers Inside Blitz for March 18th, 2025. We are just about a full week now since legal free agency started last Wednesday. And of course, the tampering portion has been going on for, well before since last Monday. Let's put it that way. Just to throw a couple of different things at you in preparation for the podcast coming up on Thursday night. We are in a very similar situation with Aaron Rodgers that we were on Thursday night when we did the last show, and I think the more I think about this, and it's not that this is anything you know revolutionary or anything like that, but Rodgers really is in a position where I don't really know how much he wants to continue playing football. And I'm not saying he doesn't still have a passion for it. I'm not saying that he doesn't want to be great. I'm not saying that he doesn't want to win another championship or anything like that. But I think when you hear somebody like Cam Hayward on his podcast yesterday, let's be honest, he was not. He did not mince words. He's not crazy about this entire thing. He does not understand why Aaron Rodgers has taken so long. He thinks just being courted by the Pittsburgh Steelers is enough. That's another subject. We'll get into whether or not there's any truth to that still anymore. Maybe the way that there once was. I'm not going to disagree with Cam necessarily, but I don't know that that's still the way that many free agents think. Okay, but to Cam's point, I think he is all of us. I think he's frustrated. If I'm a player on the Pittsburgh Steelers, I want to know who my quarterback is. And if it turns out that it's Mason Rudolph, that's fine. That's fine. Let he'll be my guy. Let's go to war. Let's see what we can do. Try to win some games and go from there. They just want to know, and that's really the feeling I got from listening to Cam Hayward. But again, from Rodgers' perspective, I mean, he's won a Super Bowl, numerous MVPs. He's probably what $400 million, somewhere in that neighborhood. I just don't know how badly he wants to do this, and so therefore he can just keep stringing it out as long as he wants to. He can continue to make the Steelers and maybe the Giants. It sounds like they're out on him, or the Vikings. Just wait, and the NFL is not necessarily really good with patience. And so, maybe what he's just simply trying to do is boost that price up as much as he can for a 1 or a 2 year deal, and then finally decide. But I know as a fan, just to separate myself from the stuff we do at steelcityblitz.com, stuff we do from the podcast, just as a general fan, it turns me off. I want people that want to play football. I want people that are committed and want to get going. And I know we're not really doing anything right now, but I mean, I'll say this: Russell Wilson's working out. He's trying to better himself even at his age. And Aaron's hanging out on the beach right now. And again, that's his right. He can do that. But at some point, the Steelers themselves have to come to a realization. And I was thinking about this the last few days too. The Steelers are waiting out a quarterback who's 40 plus and was released by the New York Jets. That's where we are with things. And again, no disrespect to the wonderful Jets people out there, but the Jets haven't exactly been the franchise that the Steelers have been over the last 40 or 50 years. And the fact is that that's where we're at. We are waiting for this guy, a guy cast off by the New York Jets, to make a decision as to whether or not he's going to come and play in Pittsburgh or go to Minnesota or wherever. And that leaves me a bit frustrated. It really does. Maybe that's my own lack of patience, maybe that gets my frustration. But I just I don't like it. I like people that are willing to commit, willing to be part of the process, and get involved early as soon as we can. And so those are my thoughts on Rodgers. Um, I do feel a little bit for Russell Wilson because I think he's in limbo as well. I think the Giants are curious about him. They were last year, and I think for Russell, he would like to be a Steeler, but the problem is Arthur Smith. Jerry Dulac reported that they didn't see eye to eye those last 5 weeks after the big offensive output against the Bengals. Then everything went straight into the crapper, as they say, and the offense sucked. And it was largely due to the fact that what Russell Wilson wanted to do was very different from what Arthur Smith wanted to do. And Arthur Smith is the coach, and that's what they did. So would Russell want to come back to that? Did he burn some bridges that maybe we don't know about? I really don't know. But I again, at this point, you look at his statistics versus Rodgers. I'm still leaning towards Russell at this point. But again, I don't really feel all that great when those are our options. But I still, as I said last week, I still think this is about 2026. I think that's what the Steelers are gearing up for. Um, in as much as they can to get stockpile draft picks, do what they can so that next year when that draft is in Pittsburgh and you can roll out your shiny new rookie quarterback or something. But again, that's also going to require probably a fairly lousy or middling season, which maybe that's what we're headed for. I don't know, but I do want to just comment on a couple other things. They signed Juan Thornhill, the safety from Cleveland. He was originally drafted by the Chiefs, won a couple Super Bowls there. And he's obviously, he was a tremendous athlete coming out of high school. Went to University of Virginia and played very, very well there, and earned his right into the NFL. And he's a very good quality player. He's had some injury issues the last couple of years in terms of I want to say he's missed 6 games in each of the last 2 seasons, so 12. So that's a concern, but they needed to do something at safety, just simply because, DeMonte KZ, I don't believe is coming back. Cam Sutton is definitely, I don't see him coming back. So they needed to do some things. And, the other thing to remember about the way the Steelers do this, and it's not totally different from other teams, the Steelers like to bring on guys, veteran players, so that if they draft rookies or bring in rookie free agents that do not pan out, then they've got a fallback. They've got a guy like Juan Thornhill that can play, has the experience. And I would also note so many of these guys are signing these 1-year deals, which again just tells you that they are totally looking towards 2026 as much more of a roster rebuild, I think, than this year. They also brought back Isaiah Loudermilk, which I'll be honest, he might not even make the roster. I think right now he's strictly a camp body. He is somebody that they swung and missed on. If you'll recall, they actually traded up to get him in the draft a few years back, in the middle rounds. And his rookie season wasn't too bad. It wasn't, but he just has not excelled. He has not really improved to where you need him to at the NFL defensive line level. So that was a little surprising. Everything else this week that's been happening is just, again, it's all about the waiting game right now with what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, and then they can start doing some other things. But I'll say this too: I think waiting on Aaron Rodgers has cost them a few other free agents. I think if you look at defensive line, maybe another cornerback, maybe a different safety in free agency. I'm not sure, but if you're sitting on this chunk of money that you're thinking you're going to give to Aaron Rodgers, then you don't have enough cash on hand to give it to some of these players at other positions. And I feel very confident in saying that. And it's unfortunate because I just don't like where that situation has been, obviously, as I've detailed numerously in this short little episode here. Don't forget coming up Thursday night, we will have, we are up to episode 413 of the SCB Steelers podcast presented by Deck Roofing Incorporated of South Florida. As of right now, the gang should all be here. You never know. I mean, who knows who shows up drunk or who doesn't? That's just what we do around here. But it'll be a great time as always. We had an amazing audience last week, one of our best ever. And it is the freaking off season, people. And the fact that we had so many people viewing us live, so many people jumping in the chat to chat with us and to give us questions and to work with us and what we're talking about. It makes the show that much better. So please continue to do that. Hope you have a good rest of the week and hope you can join us on Thursday night for the show. You can check it out on our YouTube channel, which is probably what you're watching this on. So anyway, this is SteelDad for the SCB Steelers Inside Blitz for March 18th, 2025. And hey, go Steelers.